Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Raynday Gaming. My name is Raynday, and thanks so much for tuning in and taking some time to watch this video. This is going to be a god guide on Ratatoskr, the new god in Smite, and he has got a crazy kit, one of the more interesting and intricate kits in all of Smite. I'm going to talk to you about him. I'm going to show you a build that I've used, and as always, go through a game where you can see him in action. Now, Ratatoskr, the Sly Messenger, is a Norse god. He's a physical assassin. He's a great jungler, got a high mobility, and they say he's easy to play. In my opinion, I think that's pretty true. He's got a lot of power to him. I got to tell you, Ratatoskr is not a guy that you want to mess with. He definitely doesn't come with a knife to a gunfight. He comes more of like with a bazooka. He's got a ton of stuff in his kit that allows him to be dangerous, and that's really what I think makes him a fun god for beginners to pick up. So if you're a beginner and you're interested in Smite, definitely check out Ratatoskr. Now, this is going to be a guide for beginners and advanced players to show you a build that I've been using and talk about what I'm going to do in this video is talk about the meta build, how people are building Ratatoskr, what they favor in terms of how to use his very unique passive item called the Acorn of Yggdrasil, and kind of how I've had some success with him, some do's, some don'ts, and obviously just a good game of Smite, hopefully. I feel very good about our team. We've got an Athena, a Medusa, an Isis, and a Tyr. Looking for that blink right now, and of course we've got an Ares Ratatoskr, and does the Tyr get the blink? An Alquang, a Medusa, and another fellow on their team. Let's see if we can do this. Give me that! Nope. Gotta get out of there. I have no boots. I am the slowest guy ever. Oh my gosh. I guess that's what happens when you don't get boots, but this guy's definitely dead. I guess that's what we like. So great start there. You see his ultimate in action. What a cool ultimate. One of the coolest ultimates in the game. And I will talk to you about that. Of course, I'll go through all of his guides. And here is his special thing that makes him so interesting. Now, Ratatoskr has an item. This item actually takes up an item slot. So it takes up a slot that you can use any item for. And what I'm going to be going for is a build for the Opal Acorn. Now, it's kind of the Smite meta currently to go for the Sapphire Acorn. And one of the things that I've seen players discuss is why the Alright, why the Sapphire Acorn? What is the value of that? And why not the other acorns? We've seen Emerald Acorn. He's got so many different play styles. Each one of these acorns that you pick when you go into this item gives him a different play style and upgrades his abilities, which you'll see here, in a different manner and affects him in a different manner. It is a very complicated passive, and I will explain it to you in a simplified way when we get a chance out of the action. So let's see. Uh-oh. Unfortunately, I'm stuck. He got me here. Let's see if I can dash. Nope, I wasn't able to get out. Unfortunate, I got picked by the Ares. I thought I was out of range. I was not. But I've got my ultimate up, and it looks like we're going to be able to get into this team fight if anyone wants to engage. The Tyr is going in, so let's see. There we go. Let's get out of there. And we did nicely. Okay, so now bringing you back to Rataskr's abilities. His passive is this Acorn, this special Acorn that allows him to change his abilities. He spawns with a powerful Acorn from the world tree in his inventory. He can upgrade this Acorn through the item store from anywhere on the map to strengthen himself and enhance his abilities. I like to buy the Acorn first, even though it gives you a bit of a crutch with your movement speed in the beginning of the game. I think it also allows him to get the abilities that he uses so frequently and give him such an advantage out and more to the most effective place they can be as soon as possible. I think that's a big value right there. There we go. Thank you, Medusa, for setting that up for us. Of course, we did clean up, and that's what assassins do. Now, talking about his number one, which is a pretty cool ability, I will say his number one gives Ratatoskr a lot of options, a lot of ways to interact with players, and a lot of ways to get in and out of tricky situations, harassing gods. As you can see, we just harassed a god there. Give me that. Come on, man. Come on, man. Who do you think I am? I don't know the jukes. I don't know the jukes. Come on now. So, he thought he could get away from me. He couldn't get away from me. Let's see what we can do and help out over here. So strong, man. He's such a strong character naturally because of his ability to just be so mobile and also cause so much damage. That ultimate does a ton of damage. It's one of the things I noticed just really playing against him. It really kicks ass. And so, you know, be very aware that if you have an opportunity to use it, you can really cause some damage on the team, especially when you're entering a team fight in a place that people are not expecting to enter. So here's where this build gets interesting, and this is a build that I can't claim as mine. I was watching Dmbrandon stream, and he actually uses this build because of the way that the Acorn allows you to build differently than other Acorns. So this Opal Acorn, what it does is it gives you, let's go right here. It gives you Dart now shoots up to 6 lightning bolts to nearby targets while dashing, prioritizing gods. Lightning bolts apply on-hit effect. Now, Dart is your ¡1 ability. It's the little dash that I've been doing. So what that's saying basically is Dart now applies lightning. Okay. Uh-oh. And I'm sorry, I have to focus on playing here. Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness, this is just getting out of hand. So let me try and explain this. Dart is that dash that's been doing so much damage. As you can see, as I hold it here, it now has these 2 side beams that have these lightning charges on them. That is what the Opal Acorn gives you. Usually your Dart is just the one straightforward line there. So that is the benefit of getting the Opal. Now, on-hit effects, that's a big deal. What on-hit effects means is that you get to use the things that, like, for instance, when you buy Malice, right? Malice is an item that gives your basic attacks, your critting attacks. When you hit a crit, it gives like a percentage of that crit as damage over time for the next 4 seconds. You can then apply that damage as an on-hit effect if the lightning hits the enemy player. So what that means is if you get Frostbound Hammer, which gives you the passive of hitting your enemies and giving them a 30% speed reduction, having their attack speed reduced by 15%. That means when you apply Dart, when you dash through with Dart, you also apply that effect, not just with a basic attack. So it makes your No, brother. So it makes your Dart like a huge, dangerous basic attack that can affect the entire team, and you can apply all these amazing effects from these items, and it can be extremely crippling. It's a way to really harass a group in a pretty crazy situation, right? Let's get out of here. All right, so let's get. Oh, there we go, man. This is gonna be it can't not be a forfeit. I gotta see it. So we're just playing ridiculously good right now. So as you can see, that's the benefit with the Opal build. Now you can do a ton of builds. I honestly am probably going to do another guide with different builds for Ratatoskr because he's got such a varied play style, and you can use and upgrade his Acorn in so many different ways. That's what makes him a great god. It's what makes him such a good addition to the Smite roster. You've got a character that can be upgraded in so many ways. It gives you such freedom and such creativity to be able to use. Wow, this is like a standoff. I feel like we're all about to go to war, and we're just looking at each other across the field. And then I'm thinking to myself, why didn't anyone ever go to war that way when it was like the first people to walk across the field just died, obviously, because it's like, of course you're gonna die. You know what I mean? Oh boy. She did well though. I mean, she almost got me, I tell you that. That Kwong is coming. I don't have any lifesteal. I know why I'm doing this. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's get a little bit of health. And we'll start moving into Deathbringer. So what I got also was Golden Bow. Now, Golden Bow is a item that grants you physical power, critical strike chance, movement speed, but also your basic attacks will also hit enemies within a 15-unit radius of the target for 50% of the damage. So if you crit 300, the people within 15 feet of that 300 crit that you hit on a person will receive 150 crit. If you crit 1,000, they'll receive a 500 crit. So that's pretty crazy that that is now added to my dart. You can just see how this can start to become crazy because you're stacking slow from the Frostbound Hammer, you're stacking crit and area crit from Golden Bow, and then obviously you have Deathbringer, which is increasing the amount of crit that you're having, right? Also, another thing to mention is how I'm using my 2, my 1, and all of that. Let's get out of here. We're just gonna get out of here because we just need to. And that's also a great example of how you can use it to escape and get out after you've gotten a kill. Assassins are it's very important for an assassin to have an escape tool, and Ratatoskr has one of the best any assassin could ever ask for. It's so quick, it's so mobile, and it does damage coming down. It's not a finisher like a Thanatos. It's not a flyaway like Apollo, which of course is a hunter, not an assassin. But it is pretty amazing just in terms of the ability you can the ground you can cover. I've tried to do it from here and pretty much can get anywhere on the map that I need to where there's realistically going to be a fight by my 3rd jump. So it just gives you such mobility and freedom, and makes Ratatoskr a threat from anywhere. You always have to be looking out for when he's going to come from the sky and drop down. The second ability that he has, because I want to talk a little bit more about his abilities, so that you guys get a clearer picture. He's got this thing. Man, come on! I saw where you were going. I saw where you were going, brother. All right, so let's see if we can use this on the Medusa here. Give me that. Ah ha ha! Uh-oh. Oh, I know. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. Definitely gotta call it quits when I get close to being in peril there. Don't want to do anything dumb. Now, the last item in the build is technically Titan's Bane. One thing I was interested in experimenting with was putting Malice on there because I'm interested to add more crit. I'm also interested to see what the damage over time effect looks like in terms of applying that to a group. I feel like that would be pretty devastating. The Medusa ult, turn away from her. Let's kill the Ares before his ult can finish, which is what I just did there, which was extremely, extremely important. Sometimes you'll see that Ares and you'll feel pulled. You feel like you won't have anything you can do if you don't have your beads or an escape up. But the fact is you can just kill him. A lot of times, since he's moving so slowly, he's just a hitting target. You can hit him while he's in the air. A lot of beginners make that mistake thinking he's invulnerable. But just because he's lifted in the air, he is still able to be hit. Now, let's talk about his number 2. His number 2, throw these acorns out, right? And they slowly come back to Ratatoskr. One of the ways you can utilize this to your advantage, because of the dart, the acorns follow wherever you go. So when you throw these out, one of the things you can do is throw them out in front of an opponent and then dash through them. And as you dash through them, the darts will follow you, striking the opponent on their path to you. Let's see if I can use this and show you guys an example of what that might look like. Ah, you see what happened to Outwatch there? Let's get out of here. There we go. And now, the one mechanic I have not explained to you about dart, which is pretty amazing, is that when you dart through an enemy god, you have about 10 seconds to dart through a... Well, let me just explain this in a different way. There are 5 enemy gods on the team. Each enemy god will reset your dash if it is a new god that hasn't been hit within 10 seconds by your previous dash. So you technically can get a new dash off of every single god that you hit that you haven't hit within the last 10 seconds. Does that make sense, or is that confusing? Let's see if I can show you a little bit more about what that looks like. And we are going to go with Malice here to see what that looks like. So, for example, I'm able to dodge here at Ratatoskr. My dodge is back up, even though I am pulled by Ares. I'm actually going to dodge away. That dodge was up for Ratatoskr. Now, if I went and dodged and hit Ares, my dodge cooldown would still be up, which is great. Now, because I dodged on Medusa twice in the same time, my dodge was not back up because she was not a new god. However, I would have dodged on Medusa and then dodged on Ares and then dodged on Ratatoskr. Right? For instance, look. Uh-oh. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. 20-2, what? Oh my god. I didn't even realize that was my score. Holy crap, holy. Wow. So, it would have not worked. So, basically, that's the... I'll read you the stuff now. Ratatoskr dashes in the target direction, dealing damage to all enemies along the way. If Ratatoskr strikes an enemy god he has not struck with dart in the last 10 seconds, the cooldown is reset. So this is pretty amazing. You can pretty much dodge the entire enemy team as much as you have mana, which is pretty cool. So know that my rule of thumb has kind of been thinking that dodges are more available than I ever think they are. Typically, I'm dodging through and thinking, oh, I gotta be out of dodges. But I'm actually not, which is pretty incredible. Wow, what is even happening right now? Up. And that also, number 2, is a good thing you can use that actually will make people not follow you. Because they know if they follow you, they're going to have to take that acorn damage that's going to be following you. And they're going to just basically give up chase. Because if they follow you in that point, you can just turn around after they've taken all that damage and go ahead and attack them. Now I'm going to pick up some necessary beads here and some necessary aegis. I've been able to get away without using them the entire game. I do not suggest that at all. Let's go ahead and ult into this team fight here. And, oh, that was a bad position. That was definitely a bad position to be in. So I'm going to definitely dodge right out of that. Unfortunately, I didn't use that ult correctly. So don't try that at home, guys. But I think we're doing okay. Pick up a little bit of extra mana there and head back into the fight. Now, his number 3 is an Acorn Blast. Now, in this build, Acorn Blast is not something that's been, you know, kind of built towards it. But you can build towards the Acorn Blast having a modification. And that would look like either your Sapphire build, Sapphire Acorn, or your Emerald Acorn. You'd have to take the blue Acorn route. You'd get a slow on your number 2, which are those projectiles that go around you in a circle. And then you would either be able to have your Acorn Blast heal you or act like some grenades, which is pretty much the more popular build in Smite right now. It's the grenade. It's called the Sapphire Acorn. It's a very popular build. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can kill these guys. Oh my god, I messed up. Oh, I really messed up there. I really messed up because I didn't hit my dash the second time around on anyone, which I have it on quick cast, so I accidentally pressed number 1 and it went. I'm used to the fact that it presses number 1 and then I have to left click in order to activate it. So unfortunately that didn't work. And then obviously you have Through the Cosmos, which Ratatoskr charges briefly, then leaps from the ground above the branch above his head. He must then jump to a new branch twice more. On the 3rd branch, Ratatoskr chooses a landing location where he strikes down, dealing damage. Canceling that attack causes him to land down and do damage. So there we go, and we got the kill, baby. 25-3. Oh boy, man. Now check this out, guys. This is a build that basically is a combination of a build I saw Dmbrandon use, and obviously my little twist of Malice at the end instead of Titan's Bane. It's interesting, and I think it's pretty effective, especially in the current meta, because most people are using the grenade build from the Sapphire Acorn, which is very powerful. I've used it. I like it a lot. basically the grain stick, and it makes Acorn Blast pretty powerful. However, for me, I found that Dart was a more exciting way to play. I thought it was more fun, and I thought it was better because it could affect the entire team rather than just a few acorns sticking to people, probably more an individual target type gameplay. So I like this a lot, especially for me. You see the damage numbers I'm able to put out in comparison to everybody else here. 32,000 damage. That's almost twice as high as most people in the game. Definitely on my team, and about 30% higher than anyone here on this side as well. So it was a pretty good game. I really enjoyed it. As you can see, this works. We got a godlike, we got an immortal, divine, triple kill, and you guys can see that this build really does work. I'd love to hear your thoughts when you try it out. Let me know what you like to put for your 6th item. Does Titan Bane work for you, or do you like Malice? And as always, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned to my content by subscribing. Also, like the video, comment down below to let me know what you thought, and share it with your friends so they can check out the action, try this build, and see if it works for them as well. My name's Raynday, guys. Thanks for watching. Never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you next time.